Hello everyone, welcome back to Time Out. I'm Dee. It's really good to be back. Okay, so today I have a topic that is really dear to me. Reason being, I've wanted to do this topic for a few weeks now, and I had a different topic for today, but just a few days ago I got a call about a dear friend going through high BP, blood pressure, and it's almost like most places where you turn these days, people are going through like high blood pressure, are going through stress, are going through depression, and most of the time, these things don't just come on like that. They're usually like hidden signs. They're signs that you have to experience before it comes on full blown. But it's almost like, because a lot of people tend to be in denial about these things, so it gets to a particular point and then it gets really bad and it results in some other form of medical condition. So today I wanted to talk about the hidden signs of depression. I mean, like I said, a lot of people go through, sometimes it starts off as stress and then it goes into depression and people don't even know they're depressed. So I just thought it was something to talk about. Like, it makes it easier to identify if you're going through something, and sometimes you can't even put a finger on it. So you can quickly, the sooner you can identify it, the sooner you can actually get medical help for it. Okay. So like I said before, these are the few signs of concealed or hidden depression. So point one, change in your sleeping patterns. Now, for someone like me, I normally suffer from insomnia. So I hardly get to sleep. I hardly ever sleep. So, but I do a few hours. Now, where I would get worried is if I was sleeping a lot, like if I do like 5-6 hours. I do it the first day, and then if it's unexplainable, like I'm not tired, and I just do like 5 hours stretch, I get worried, because normally my body system goes through insomnia. I don't sleep a lot. For me, resting, I'm very tired and I want to rest will be just laying in bed, maybe watching TV or something. Now that's my own resting. I don't necessarily have to be sleeping and I'm well rested. But when I get to sleep like 5-6 hours, I actually get worried, and that's when I start to check myself, like, okay, am I coming down with a fever or malaria or something? So once you have a change in your sleeping patterns, is actually something to look out for. Like maybe you do sleep a lot and then you notice you're not sleeping at all. So you need to be able to identify that and put a finger on it. Point two, another hidden sign of concealed or hidden depression is changing your eating patterns. So what can happen in this instance is you're either like craving for stuff like overeating or loss of appetite. Now, if you're somebody that eats like 3 meals a day and then you find yourself maybe you don't even feel like eating once a day, I mean, that's something to look out for. There's a reason why you've lost your appetite. Now, first day, second day, it's nothing to really worry about. But when it starts to slip into like a week or something and you still feel a loss of appetite, is something to look out for. Or you're actually overeating. Like if normally you eat like once a day or something and you find yourself eating like 5-6 times a day, that's another thing to actually look out for. Is another hidden sign, can be another hidden sign. Now, people can experience 1 or 2 of this, does not mean those are hidden signs of depression. It's like if you can pick a few of these points over time, then it's something to look out for. Point 3. Another sign of hidden or concealed depression is being overly self-critical. Now, there's some people that are perfectionists. Some people like to do things perfectly, and but if you're one of those people and you find yourself like being overly self-critical about the things you do, like you're constantly questioning everything you do, like you make a move, you question it, you do your work, you question it, you want everything to be totally perfect all the time. Now I'm not saying being a perfectionist is a hidden sign of depression. Like I said, you have to take like a few of these points and look out for it over time. Now, being overly self-critical is actually a hidden sign of depression. You're constantly criticizing yourself. You're not even criticizing other people. You're constantly criticizing yourself. Like everything you're doing is not good enough all the time. And that kind of puts you under pressure, if that makes any sense. So being overly self-critical. If you're normally the self-critical person, when you find yourself overdoing it, that's actually something to look out for. Point 4 is intense emotions. Like, okay, so what does this mean? Like, if you find yourself like, sometimes like you watch like an emotional movie, if you're not really that that much of an emotional person, but you find yourself suddenly just crying over movies, or you find yourself getting angrier than usual, or you find yourself like there's just an outburst. You understand? You explode over things that would not normally annoy you. Do you understand? It's like intense emotions. If you're happy, if you're sad, you're feeling overly sad. Do you understand? You just notice you're crying over a lot more. Things that will normally not even make you emotional starts to make you a lot more emotional than usual. Yes, that's another sign of hidden depression. Point 5. Another sign of hidden or concealed depression is being overly happy. Yeah, I know. Normally people say it's like, people think it's just when you're like overly sad, and that's not true. Sometimes when you're sad, you're just sad. But you see some people being like really, really happy. I'm not saying being happy is bad. I mean, it's great, but like too much of everything is bad, right? So you see some people being like ridiculously happy. Like on a good day, maybe they're just normal. Then you find them being like overly happy, like, oh my God, I'm so happy. There's just that show of happiness and of being overly happy over nothing. It's like, do you understand? It's not like it's nothing, but I mean, the minutest things, they're like, oh my God, I'm so, it's actually another form of intense emotions, but it's in a happy way. And normally people tend to ignore the overly happy people because people think it's the overly sad people that are depressed. No, but sometimes being overly happy unnecessarily, so it's actually a hidden sign of depression. Another telltale sign of hidden or concealed depression is when you find yourself finding distractions all the time. And what does this mean? Like, if you find yourself like on a good day, you're usually like up and going, then you find yourself being in front of the TV a little bit more. No, it's not like you got into some kind of series that you absolutely love and you just have to watch it. No, you just found yourself being more of a couch potato. Do you understand? You're constantly watching TV, or you're finding distraction in like drinks or something, like alcoholic drinks, or you're finding distraction in like smoking or something, and you're overly doing it. Do you understand? So sometimes we don't even realize what's going on with us. You just find out that, okay, like you just need something to distract yourself. Like you probably need to have a drink so that you can go and sleep or something, or you need to overly smoke or something that it's normally not your go-to. Another sign of hidden depression is when you lose interest in things you normally enjoy. So if you're like maybe like the golfer or the tennis player, or you like to hang out with friends, and then you just find out like your friends call you this weekend, you're like, no, I don't feel like going. Yeah, you might be busy that weekend and even the next, but when it starts to spill over into like a month or two and you still don't feel like doing the normal things the things you would normally feel like doing, you've just kind of lost interest in everything. That's a definite telltale sign of depression. Point, I think it's 8. Okay, so point 8, I think. So another telltale sign of depression is brain fog. Now, what does this mean? You're confused a lot, or you're forgetting a lot. Like, if you're normally the type that would remember a lot of information, but you find yourself like constantly like confused, a bit tired, mentally tired, if that makes any sense, or you're forgetting things a lot, that's a sure telltale sign of hidden depression. So it's not something to just brush off as nothing. When your brain just seems foggy, like you're forgetting things, like you see people, you find it hard to even remember their names, or just normal information you normally won't forget, and you find yourself forgetting it a lot, or just mentally tired, or just a bit confused about things, or a bit spaced out. So yeah, that's another telltale sign of hidden depression. Another very hidden sign of concealed depression is poor hygiene. I know this is something that is so overlooked by so many people now. So generally, if you're not talking about a dirty person, somebody that naturally does not take care of themselves. So when we're talking about somebody that naturally takes care of themselves, then you get to see them quite often, and you notice they're not really taking care of themselves as they normally would. Like, if it's somebody that likes to get their nails done, get their hair done and everything, and like this week you see them out in like a hairdrop, and you're thinking, okay, yeah, so maybe they just want to be chilled this week. The following week, like you see them in like a scarf, and or even if you feel that way personally, like you just you stop taking care of yourself like you used to. And like I said, we're not talking about a dirty person here. So if you find yourself like you've gone 3 days, you haven't had your bath, or you've gone. I'm not saying it means the person is depressed. What I'm saying is, if it's going over time, like if it spills over into like a week or two, and you're still feeling that way, is definitely something to look out for. My final point, and the reason why I'm going for this one last is because for this particular one, you would have to have noticed other signs. So if you've been able to pinpoint other signs, like maybe 3 or 4 more of the other signs, and then you feel this way, this last point as well, is not something to brush off as nothing. Usually if you isolate it, it's probably nothing, but or just one of those things. But if you have noticed this particular sign as well as 3 or 4 more of the other signs, is definitely something to look out for. And that final point is unexplainable physical pain, like when you're getting like constant headaches or even stomach pain. Like I said, you have to have felt like some of the other points. So it's something you can't isolate it. This has to come with other points. That's why I am choosing this one last. Or like a tightness in your chest. Like if you just have this unexplainable chest pain, like I said, it has to go with the other point. So anyway, that's another telltale sign of hidden depression. And like I said, this topic is really, really important to me, because a lot of people just overlook these things and overlook their health, their mental health especially. So like I'm really concerned about that, because most places where you turn now, it's like one person is going through high blood pressure or going through something going. And like I said, the body is like a machine. It never just springs up on you. There's usually like a telltale sign. Like for instance, if you need to service your car, you can tell some like creaks and squeaks and stuff you can hear in it. So the body is kind of like that. So before it shuts down or gets to a point where it's like, you need help, or one needs help, sorry about that, that one needs help, usually the body would have been giving you signs of, telltale signs of whatever illness is about to come on. So anyway, I hope I've been able to make a few points, and do have a lovely, lovely week ahead. I do love you all. See you next week. Namaste.